Okay, that's a rough approximation of the intro to Happy, one of Keith's most classic intros, and of course Keith is the master of the intro. I'm going to be showing you that signature lick today, as well as the chord progression for the whole song, some of the theory involved, and then I'm going to show you the slide part, which was done by Mick Taylor. A lot of people have that misconception that Keith's playing the slide on this. He's not. He cut the song in France when they were doing Exile on Main Street. According to the interview with Keith, he did the song between noon and 4 p.m. on one day. The rest of the Stones weren't even there. Keith played the rhythm guitar, sang the vocal, played the bass, Bobby Keys on saxophone, and I think Jimmy Miller on drums. And then later, of course, Mick Taylor added the slide, and Mick Jagger added the background vocals. So it's really a Keith Richards solo tune, and there are other lessons out there on YouTube, but several of them are wrong, including Private Tricker, I think is his name. Anyway, he's fantastic. I'm not dissing him. He's amazing. He's like the master of the Stones covers and lessons on YouTube. But he and a couple others on there have the signature lick wrong. So let's look at that first, because that's really obviously the most important part of the whole song. The song is in B major. You're capoing at the 4th fret, and you are tuning to open G. If you capo the 4th fret, think of that as a B chord, right? That's what that's playing open is a B major chord when you're in open G. Remember our movable chord shapes. If you have A at the 2nd fret, you move it up 2 to the 4th fret, you have a B chord. It would look like that if you were playing it in standard tuning. But in open G, you've moved that 5th string up from or down from an A to a G. So the miracle of open tuning, you can play the strings open and get a major chord. Okay, so that's a B major. It's going to play a big role in this song. The intro is up at the 9th fret. You're going to bar the 9th fret. Again, don't worry about the 6th string. If you want to just touch it with the tip of your index finger there to mute it, that's helpful. Okay. And what do we have there? We have an E major chord. Because again, if you're remembering from standard tuning, your movable A shape, that same shape, if you played it up here at the 7th fret, you'd have an E bar chord. So we're starting with an E major. You just hit it twice, and then you're going to suspend it by putting down your middle finger on the 10th fret 2nd string, your ring finger on the 11th fret 3rd string. And what you have there is essentially an E major chord that's doubly suspended. You've got a sus4 and a sus2. You put them together, and it's sort of like an E sus4 sus2 or sus2 sus4, whatever you want to call it. And it creates that signature suspension of that intro lick. That's the crucial thing right there. The people that have the lesson wrong leave off the middle finger, watch it, and they just do a sus2. That's not it, man. Watch Keith play it on any YouTube live Stones thing. You'll see he's putting down his middle finger there as well. You can also just hear it on the record. There's a big difference between and. Okay? Check it out. Alright, also, I've shown you in other lessons, including one that's called something like 10 Classic Riffs Using the Brown Sugar Chords. I show you how tons of rock songs, classic rock songs, use these two signature chords that Keith constantly uses in like every single song, right? So, sorry, digression. So after you play that sus2, sus4 thingy, all you have to do is move your ring finger to the 11th fret, 4th string, and what you have there is an A major chord, which is the 4 in the key of E. And if you remember, almost all of Keith's riffs play off this 1 to the 4. I just showed you. Okay, and then, you know, then he's doing the sus2, sus4 thing in Brown Sugar. So he uses both of these little chord forms in virtually all of his great licks. In Happy, again, and then, so that's the only tough part about the intro is on the record. If you wanted to make it sound exactly like the record, you've got to do that little flourish right before you release. So again, E to E suspended, to the A chord, E, and then Keith always makes a big deal about releasing. He loves the fact that he can play a major chord without touching the guitar, right? And then during the verse, he's basically going 1 to 4 down here. He's going B to E, the movable A shape to the movable D shape. I don't think I mentioned that when we were up here playing that A chord. That's your D shape, right? That's your same shape of the D chord. So he does that down here. So again, you're putting your index finger on the E note, 5th fret, 2nd string, and you're putting your middle finger on the 6th fret, 4th string. It's just going 1 to 4, 1 to 4. And then when he goes to the I Need Love to Keep Me Happy, the chorus, it just goes back to the intro lick. Okay, that's the whole song, alright? The only thing that's added to it is the slide guitar by Mick Taylor, which I'm going to show you on my resonator since that's what I use for slide. Okay, I've got my Gretsch Bobtail resonator here set up in Open G, which is how I normally play it. If you're ever in the market for an affordable, awesome resonator, this is it. Gretsch Bobtail, one of the most fun instruments you can ever play. So there is sort of a call and response effect in the song Happy. Keith has his piece of the signature lick. He has his signature lick, which is again up there at the 9th fret. And then when he comes down, when he releases and does the B to E part, Mick Taylor does his response. I'm playing without a pick for the slide, which I recommend. It gives you a softer attack, less likely to get kind of slide artifacts. Mick Taylor's response is so you're sliding on the first 3 strings up to that same fret, that 9th fret. This isn't rocket science. And just playing the first 3 strings in an arpeggio. And then releasing. it sounds like he hits 5, 3, open, which is of course the same note, the root of the B chord. So what is he doing? He's playing the same thing Keith's doing down here. He's going B to E. And Mick is going E to B over that same when Keith's doing those. Obviously he plays the E while Keith plays the E, and so on. And you can hear it, I hope you can hear it, that those are the same notes. Right? So that's the E chord. Those are the same chords. So that's why they're doing this. Again, people who don't want to hear theory, you gotta get the theory to know why they do what they do. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense and you're just being a parrot, mimicking stuff without understanding it, okay? So that's it. So that's sort of some of the fills that Mick Taylor plays on the second string, just going 9, 7, open, which is of course 4. Right? That's what he does. And then the sort of solo, which isn't really a solo, it's just a little instrumental break between verse 2 and chorus. He does a little of that. And then he goes, he comes up to the first string, 9th fret. And then I need love, right? Goes right into that. So play around with that. That was extremely rough, but you get the idea. And then I need love to keep me happy. And that's the song. All right? Get out there and rock it. Keith is on record as saying you can't play this song without feeling happy. You just feel happy when you play it. It's a joyful song. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.